DashClicks opened in October 2018. It's been about, I don't know, like 20 months, something like that. How many of you guys have been with me for the last over 1 year? Say one in the chat. If you've been with me for over 1 year. Where's my diehard DashClicks fans? If you've been in DashClicks for more than 1 year, drop a quick one in the chat. Drop a number 2 in the chat if you've been with us for at least a minimum of 6 months. If you've been with us for less than 6 months, actually, drop a 2 in the chat. 2 in the chat if you've been with us for 6 months. Awesome. Drop a 3 in the chat if you've never been inside of the DashClicks platform and this is your first time seeing me, ever. That's what I love to see. I was hoping that you guys would say that. A lot of you guys. Dylan said not for long though. Hey, let me talk really quick about what DashClicks really is and what our brand does, and then we're going to go into a bunch of mindset, and I'm going to blow your mind with a lot of really cool stuff. But for those of you guys who have not been to DashClicks or not been inside of DashClicks, the platform, we do a lot of really cool stuff. The company is geared and focused towards digital marketing agencies, which basically mean if you're a digital marketing agency, we literally serve you. You are our exact avatar. You are our exact customer. Okay? We are here to actually serve you. And we serve you in 3 different ways. We serve you through education, which is doing events and webinars and amazing stuff just like this. We serve you through our technology, which is our software platform, which is our tools like InstaSites, InstaReports, agency website, our entire analytics platform, right, to be able to manage all of your clients, right? And then we serve you through our white label fulfillment, which is once you actually start selling stuff, if you don't want to have to deal with the headache of doing the fulfillment, our team will actually take that entire workload off you and we can do the fulfillment and it's all connected from right there inside of the dashboard. So everything works together in one ecosystem. Okay? For all my DashClicks users, do you guys love using DashClicks? Can you put a 5 in the chat really quick? Does it actually help you in your agency? Does it actually help you? If you can think of just a one-liner, and I'm really curious to do this here really quick. If you can think of just one line, one thing, one main thing, maybe not one line, but what's the one thing that really DashClicks is like, it means the most to you? And it can be like, Chad, it helps me get more clients, or Chad, InstaSites is like the best tool in the world. Like, what's that one thing? What's the one thing that has like literally changed it for you? Chatty said client login dashboard. Todd said InstaSites. Said InstaReports. Zach said the trainings. Anybody else, guys? What's that one thing that you love the most inside of DashClicks? The time multiplier, James said. Wow, I actually like that. Brian said commitment to getting me started and up and running. Real-time client login, Orlando said. Chatty said Chad's involvement. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Team communication, Javier said. Love that too. Lisa said the systems and processes that are built in. Maria said the onboarding process, which is completely automated. Peter said, I'm new to these trainings, I think have sold me. I'm not trying to sell you anything yet, but I hope you enjoy. Michael, site gives me more confidence, so the agency website. RJ says fulfillment. So white label fulfillment. Lisa says so much more in foundational support for an agency. Onboarding is heaven. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that we do, guys. Adam said white label fulfillment. So you don't have to do any of the fulfillment work. We take that whole load off. You can focus on sales, right? There's a lot of stuff that we do. And when we initially built DashClicks, for us, it was a dream. And for those of you guys who have seen my slides, the dream started in I think it was like 2017, maybe when we started building it. And then we launched in October of 2018. Right? And essentially DashClicks was really built for us as an agency, right? And for us as an agency, it was really meant to basically be able to control all of our clients in one place without having to log into 30,000 different dashboards and all these crazy things, right? And what I can promise you guys is, and without giving you guys too much information here, because then Carlos will start speaking in my ear. And by the way, guys, I have an earpiece in. So for those of you guys like, why does Chad keep touching his ear? Does he have an ear infection? What's going on here? No, that's Carlos whispering weird stuff in my ear while I'm doing these whiteboards to try to make me laugh. Look, the main point here is we're going to continue to serve you guys, and we have a lot of really cool stuff coming up. So I want to get that announcement out of the way, and I want to let you guys know that thank you for sticking around. There's something amazing to come. I'm not going to go too much into details, but I hope you guys are enjoying the platform now because things are going to change and they're only going to get better. Okay? So let me get a number 1 in the chat. 1 in the chat. Let's go. Break the chat. Break the chat. I want to go whiteboard really quick. Let me whip open the whiteboard. How many of you guys have ever been on one of my webinars where I do some whiteboard stuff? Can you guys drop a number 1 in the chat? Where's all my webinar fans in here that have ever been on a webinar with me or have ever seen any one of my trainings? You guys know I love this freaking TV whiteboard. I love it so much that we built this entire setup twice in our office. Okay, and these TVs are like $4 or $5 grand. I don't know how much this shit is. Really expensive. Okay, we built the same setup twice. Yeah, it allows me, so I'm a very analytical person. I'll talk to you a little bit about myself. I'm a very analytical person, and I'm the type of person as a business owner and as an entrepreneur that always wants to hit additional milestones, right? So for me, when I start thinking about business or when I start thinking about my agency, as an example, okay, I started my agency in 2009. Okay, now in 2009 was obviously when the biggest crash happened in the world, right? We all remember that. And that's when businesses started going down and real estate started going down and like all this crazy stuff happened. And that's when I started my business. I literally started my business in September 2009, which is right around that time. And when I first started my business, funny enough, I actually didn't do any website design. I didn't have any softwares. I wasn't doing any SEO or pay-per-click. I actually didn't do any marketing at all. That's a secret. I actually started my company as a printing company. So I was always like nerdy. I was always into computers. I love graphics. I love UI and things like that, right? And for me, I was always into this graphics world. I was like, well, what can I do? How can I make money off of this, right? So what I decided to do is start a company. I called it Social Agency because it was a time when things were getting social and social media was kicking in a little bit, right? And what I used to do is the first thing that I did, and the biggest sales item for me was, I used to do the graphics for business cards, for flyers, for postcards, any of that stuff, right? And I used to send it off to a trade printer, right? So I would be, anybody ever use Craigslist back in the days? I know it's kind of dead now, but anybody ever use Craigslist back in the days? Where are my old school guys at? Number 3, I was like the Craigslist spammer of the year, okay? I was a guy who, when you logged into Craigslist and you searched for something, you would see the same result 3,000 times and it was me. Okay, that was what I used to do back in the day, right? And that took a heavy toll on me because you can only do that for so long, number 1. So you see, for the first couple of years in my business, I never really focused on my business. I didn't really know what business was. I was trying to make a buck, right? I was living in my parents' house. I had my office. For those of you guys who were on last night and you saw my final presentation, my office for the first couple of years was literally in my parents' house, in my room. I used to wake up every morning, probably like some of you guys are doing right now, just hustling, just posting stuff on Craigslist. And my offer back in the day was, hey, I'm the graphics guy. You need some graphic design work? I'll do the graphic design work and I'll do the printing and I'll ship it straight to you, right? So then I started getting some orders. I started getting really good at it, okay? And then a crazy thing happened. I was like, okay, well, I should probably get a website. This Craigslist thing is going to start getting pretty intense soon, right? They might shut me down because I'm like the spam king. So I started building a website. Funny enough, that website's still up today. It's called printerprinting.com, right? And we don't do anything with it. It's just there. I don't know why, but maybe for memories for me. And printerprinting.com was a website that I built, and I didn't know how to build a website. And I didn't do anything in WordPress back then. There was no content management system. I went onto YouTube and I started watching educational videos, right? And I remember finding this one playlist where it was like how to build a website using HTML, right? And I watched the whole playlist on how to build a website. And I went out and I started building my first ever website. And I called myself a website developer, right? I learned HTML, I learned CSS, and throughout 6 months of my journey, I ended up building this massive website, right? And then I started studying SEO, right? I started studying SEO, and then I realized, well, okay, well, and SEO, this is when SEO was really big back in the day, guys, when keyword stuffing was really heavy, right? And you can just stuff a bunch of keywords on the page and you would rank on the first page, right? So I started doing that. I started learning SEO. And I started building the website, called it printerprinting.com, got a pretty cool domain name. And then I started ranking #1. I started ranking #1 for things like business cards, business card printing Miami, flyer printing Miami, postcard printing Miami, flyer printing Fort Lauderdale here in South Florida. That's where our office is located. Started ranking for all of these different search terms. Started getting a bunch of phone calls. I was getting like 200-300 phone calls a month from print jobs, right? And then what I realized is I'm sitting there doing all these print jobs, and these guys like, I'm doing this, I'm telling you guys, like, I'm doing this for like 2 years, okay? So imagine 2 years of my life goes by, and I'm doing printing, okay? I'm selling these, somebody's calling me, he's like, hey, I need 3,000 business cards. I was like, all right, it's gonna be $100 for me to design the business card, and then for 3,000 business cards, it's like $79. Okay, so it's like $179. Charge a credit card. I do all this work designing the card. I send it to them for proofs. They send it back to me like, we don't like this. We gotta move this to this, right? And then what I realized was, here's my epiphany moment. I wasn't making any money. I was not making any money. I was literally making like 20 grand a year in sales. And I was fighting every day hoping that I would get more phone calls, okay? Because what I realized was these sales were so small. They were minute sales, and they were not recurring sales, okay? So I started following all the companies in this media space, and I found one company. It was called Madwire Media. I'll never forget this, okay? They're a company based out in Denver, Colorado, okay? And I started following them. I was really intrigued by like all of their videos that they're doing. They put out massive amounts of videos and they were so cool, right? And they had this big office, like a couple hundred people. They got funding from the government to start their agency. I think they actually started in 2009 too. They started the same time that I started, right? But I was always intrigued. I was like, dude, how do they do this, right? So I started researching them. And then I realized they don't offer printing services. They're not offering like just one-off services. They're offering recurring-based services. And that's when the epiphany happened for me, right? That was my game changer right there. It's like, okay, well, maybe what I'm doing is not the right way to do it. Maybe what I'm doing is I should be offering website design and then going up from there and going on to freaking marketing services like SEO, social media posting, directory listings, pay-per-click campaigns through Google. Facebook ads weren't really big in the day back then when I was doing it. But all of these different services that were recurring. And you see, that was a trend. Okay, that was that big shift. So what I started doing was shifting from printing to digital marketing. That was my first shift that happened to me. It shifted from printing to digital marketing. And then I started doing digital marketing. I started building websites for other people. Right, I told you guys I went through this whole course, right, on YouTube. I was watching all these videos, started building out these websites. And then guess what do you think happened, guys? So quick poll, what do you think happened after I built a website for somebody? What was the next thing that they said to me, guys? What was the next question they had for me when I built their website? What do you guys think? Drop it in the chat. What do you guys think? Nobody knows? Yeah, Sean said it. Where do I get customers? Okay, cool. You built me an awesome website. Awesome. What next? I was like, well, let's figure out this thing. Like, I don't know, when I was doing my printing thing, I started ranking for a bunch of keywords. And that's what got me business. So from experience, from my previous style of running this company, I morphed into started selling SEO. Okay? So my whole thing was building a website and doing SEO. Okay? And I started selling a bunch of SEO in a bunch of websites. And I was selling them for, on average, when back in the day, I was doing about $3.99 a month. Okay? Back in the day. That was like earlier days when I was by myself. In fact, I even created one package that it was called brand management. Some of you guys may have seen it in other webinars and stuff like that. And the package actually included search engine optimization, so on-page SEO, posting on their social media channels, and getting them into a bunch of different local directory listings. That was a package. It was like a 3-pack, right? And I used to charge $399 a month. Remember what I told you guys? Who was on my webinar yesterday? Drop a 1 in the chat. Remember what I told you guys about creating one offer and sending a bunch of traffic to that one offer? You guys remember that? Drop a 1 in the chat. Help me out here really quick. It's all new people here? That's crazy. None of you guys were here last night? Help me out. I need some help. Yeah. So, for those of you guys, like I said, that were on yesterday, okay, it's all about shifting, okay? Recurring services was the biggest shift for me. Creating an offer that was irresistible, that I can sell, that I can package, was the biggest shift for me. So we started selling this product. We called it brand management. It's $399. I'll never forget this. $399, 6-month contract. Okay, $399 a month, 6-month contract, $149 setup fee. Okay, and I started going. I had this little booklet. All right, pre-corona days, way back in the day when we can walk into businesses and do cool stuff like this. Started walking into places, saying, "Hey, I got this package. My name's Chad. I'm from Social Agency. And, you know, my office is right down the street." Meantime, my office was literally my parents' house. Until I got a couple of these customers and then moved into my friend's office, right? And I started offering this package. And what I realized is I was selling one package. I had these 3 awesome items that I know a bunch of people were interested in, especially social media posting. That was like crazy back in the day. It was like this newer thing, right? And I started selling. I was selling like one of these every single week. Now, guys, can we do the math really quick? And I'm not a math guy, right? What's $399 times 4? Can anybody do that math for me really quick? What's $399 times 4? Right? $399 times 4. What is this equal to? 1,600 bucks. 1,600. Okay. I was closing on average by myself with this one package. Yeah, somebody said $1,596. We'll call it $1,600. We'll make it even. Okay. I was closing about $1,600 in new business every single month. Okay. And what you guys are forgetting was this $1,600. Can we go P&P real quick? This $1,600 was contracted for 6 months. Now, guys, what's $1,596, just so we can do the right math here, times 6 months? What does that equal to? $1,596 times 6. Can you guys help me out here? Where's my math guys at? Drop it in the chat. Who's going to use their calculator and help Chad out? $1,596 times 6 months. All right, nobody wants to help me. I'm going to guess. Okay, somebody said $9,576. All right, cool. Let's put it right up here. $9,576. Let me ask you guys a quick question. 903. All right. Yeah, somebody's off. But yeah, 9,000. It's almost 10K. Another thing that we should probably note is there was also $149 that I was charging for setup fees times 4, right? So 150 bucks times 4 is $600, right? Total of 600 bucks. So now plus $600. So literally, I was closing 10,000. Let's do some math here. 100 or 276 bucks. Okay. 10,170 something bucks, okay? Whatever it is, all right? And I was doing this pretty much every single month, okay? Every single month. Now, how many of you guys right now in your business, would that be like a complete game changer for you? If you can go right now. How many of you guys right now, can you drop a 1 in the chat? If you can sell $10,000 in new business that's also contracted, wouldn't that be great for you guys? Yeah, so for me, let's go back front face really quick. for me, it was crazy. Yeah, and Todd asked, at the time, were you giving the business your business card and brochure for the service? Yeah, I was walking in and I had a booklet. As a matter of fact, Tommy, can you do me a favor? In my desk, okay, on the bottom, like on the left side, there's a spiral booklet that's social agency. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I did. Okay? Tommy was going to grab that booklet for you guys. So literally, I would go there, and this is what I would do. And my goal, and here's another thing about goals for you guys. A lot of you agents here, I see a bunch of people coming into DashClicks. Yeah, that's it. I see a bunch of people coming into DashClicks like, oh, how do I get 4,000 clients in the next 30 days so I can be rich? I was like, thanks, man. I was like, dude, come on, man. Wouldn't, like, if you reframe the question and we actually draw it out, I know this is like scribble scrabble here, but just to the point, 10K, right? If you can close 10K in new business every single month, wouldn't that do you justice? So it's funny enough. So here's I'm going to come around here real quick. So here's the booklet, and as you can see, this was the booklet that I used to use back in the day. I used to walk into people's offices, and I started with this, okay? And I want you guys to understand the concept here of how this whole thing played out. So hang tight. This will all come into, this will all make a little bit of sense, right? So this was a booklet I used to walk around with. This is my company, Social Agency. This is our retail agency, right? And here's a package. So remember what I told you guys? So for those of you guys who want to screenshot this, I am going to pull back a little bit so you can see it clearly. Maybe clearly. This way, that way, right there. Kind of clearly? I don't know. All right, we're going to try to get clear. And it's not working. Anyways, this was our brand management package. It was $399 per month, as you can see right there. $149 a month setup fee and 6-month payment. Okay, and it included SEO, listings manager, posting on their social media channel, right? So the camera's coming out of focus, but you guys get the point here, okay? So what I would do, oh, Carlos whispered in my ear again. He said autofocus is off. Well, that's why. But what I would do is I would literally come in, and this would be the booklet. So these are real numbers, okay? So my goal, and this is big thing that I want you guys to learn, okay? And I'm telling you guys this from experience. My goal was not to close $3,000 clients and to close them daily. My goal when I started, when I had nothing, when I came out of a $20,000 a year printing company, like this was a game changer for me. In 2 months, I was doing what I did the previous year, the whole year. Now here's the crazier part. This is where it gets crazier, okay? This was recurring. So who remembers earlier when I told you guys about stacking? You guys remember that? Where I said if you keep your clients and the value's there, what happens is they start stacking. Clients start stacking, right? And that's exactly what happened to me. So after a couple of months of doing this, I decided to move into my friend's office, right? Like I showed you guys in the picture on yesterday's video. And I moved into my friend's office. I started doing SEO for him for free, and I hired my first employee to get some office space, okay? Because I kind of wanted to try it out. I was a couple months in. I wanted to make sure if this thing was a real thing here, right? I hired my first employee. Her name was Angie. And what I would do is the system that I had, and once again, this is me building my first system, is hey, I'm going to go out and sell, and when I sell this stuff, you're going to do all the work, okay? And I taught her how to do SEO from what I knew, right? And I taught her how to do the listings. I taught her how to do social media posting, right? And then that's what we were doing. And so you pay us $400 a month, and we're going to give you all that stuff. So she was that fulfillment. She was my fulfillment team. She was my DashClicks. Like you guys have your own DashClicks, she was my DashClicks, right? And she obviously was my employee. She worked in my office. So I would go out and I would do all these sales, okay? And I started getting really good at it to the point where sometimes I was selling more than 4 a week, right? Because what happens, who in the sales game here knows anything about a pipeline? You guys know what a pipeline is? Say yes in the chat if you guys know what a pipeline is. While I take a nice sip of my drink here to celebrate this nice event. You guys know what a pipeline is? What happens when you start adding deals to a pipeline over time and you are following up every day or every week Or when Sandy gets back from vacation, the day she gets back, you're the one following up, right? What happens is things start stacking, it starts filling up, and your pipeline gets full. So after doing this for a couple of months, it went from closing 1 a week to closing 2 a week. Because now, the guys who I was speaking to a month ago that said, hey, they had to think about it, call me back, or whatever it is, right? Or they're going out on vacation, and they'll be back in 3 weeks, and then we'll meet in 3 weeks, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, all of those guys started popping, right? And I was closing, now I was making $20K a week in new business closed for the company. So what does every entrepreneur decide to do? They decide to take the thing that's taking them the most time in the world and delegate. That's what we do as entrepreneurs, okay? That's what we do as business owners, okay? My biggest thing that I can tell you guys, the biggest thing, and if anybody knows me, if you guys have been on any one of my webinars, I do everything in my company first. I figure out the best way to do it, I figure out the process, and then I delegate it off to somebody else, and I go right on top, and I go to the next best thing. I say, okay, now that I don't have to do that one thing anymore, what's the next thing that I can do that's more powerful, that's more impactful, that will drive more revenue for the company, or drive more impact to the customers that we're working with in our company? What's that next thing that I can do, right? So for me, that next thing and that time consumption was sales. I was the one going out. Remember, it was me and it was Angie. I was the one going out. I was making all the sales. I used to get 1 and then started to be 2 of these every single week. Angie started doing all the work, right? And there got to a point where I was capped out. I was doing all these sales, and it was like, okay, well, we're never gonna get past like 1 or 2 clients a week, new clients a week. That was it. That was like my cap, right? And that was great money. There was just 2 of us. But me, once again, as an entrepreneur, I'm trying to take it to the next level. How many of you guys out here love and continuously love making new milestones in your business every fucking day? Drop a number 3 in the chat. Drop a number 3 in the chat. I think Ryan Stuman unleashed my curse syndrome, so I'm going to try to tone it down. But drop a number 3 in the chat, okay? If you love doing it, if you love it. All right, let me see if I can actually get my slides up, because this will yeah, I want to go to, because I want you to visually see these pictures, so you can you can live it, right? Yeah, so here's where I was in my life at the time, okay? This was, remember I said I was sharing an office? This is that office that I was, so now the pictures are like coming to like reality here, right? And then here's Angie, right? It was me, so this is my desk right here all the way to the left, right? So this is my desk right here, and there's a little window there. And out of that window was right there was Angie. That was my fulfillment team. That was who was doing my actual fulfillment, right? And then remember I told you guys, I said time. Well, what's happening here? What do I need to do to remove myself to be able to make more money and a bigger impact on my company and grow my company? I need to replace myself. Sales is taking all my time. And then I realized, well, okay, well, hiring like a closer and like doing all this stuff, it might be really expensive. So what's the first thing that I can do? So the first thing that I actually did was hire my first fronter, as you guys would call it. And this was Bruce, right? And Bruce used to go out to every single business, just like I was, okay? He used to ride his Vespa. He had a Vespa, okay? And he used to dress like this, nice open shirt with some khakis every single day, right? And Bruce used to go out, and I said, hey, Bruce, this is what I want you to do, brother. I don't need you to close any deals. I am going to pay you $399 plus $149. So you're going to get paid $550 every time you sell one of these packages. And the cool part is you don't need to sell these packages. I will sell these packages. All I need you to do is follow the system and framework that I'm going to give you that's been working for me for the last couple of months. And I want you to take that and I want you to go out and do the same thing that I was doing that was working to generate me these leads, okay? And this is what he would do. He would walk in to every single business, okay? And here in South Florida, there's businesses all over the place, okay? He would walk into every single business and say, hey, my name's Bruce, I'm from Social Agency. We're a local marketing agency right here down the street. We're actually doing a free online report for a company just like yourself. And this is what the report looks like. We had the report, like samples of the report on here, right? Which what today is what's called Insta Reports, right? There was another tool that we were using way back in the day. And like we had, remember somebody said something, I think Steve Larson said something today about having a tangible item is so different. Like when you can like feel something and see it, it just like brings the, it like elevates everything, right? So he used to go in and he used to say, hey, this is what the report looks like. And he used to just flip a couple pages. We didn't go over any of these, right? So this is $3.99, nothing. We would never show this, right? We would just show the report, right? We would show the report. Let me go to the report real quick. Here it is, okay? We would show them the report. We say, hey, this is what the report's gonna look like, okay? And this looks very similar to Insta Reports because we crafted and made something better out of it because this is one of my favorite tools that we used to use back in the day. Can we say, hey, this is a no cost for you, but what this report will actually show you is everything that's wrong with your business and how to actually fix it, and it's totally free. What I'd like to do is, if it's okay with you, I'd like to run this free report for you. I actually don't need anything from you. And you guys are like, well, Chad, what do you mean you don't need anything? Guys, have you ever walked into a local business? How many times do you see a little business card thing right there on the front counter? And you just pull a business card. What information, guys, is on a business card? Can you guys help me out here? What information is on a business card? Go ahead and drop it in the chat really quick. What info do we have on a business card? Email, phone number, name, website, address, right? Instagram sometimes, Facebook, right? Yeah, it was pretty much everything that we needed to run a report, right? We just needed, really, what do we need to run a report? Well, we need your address, okay? We need your phone number. We need your email address so we can send you the report. And then what we also need is your website if you have it, so it makes the report more in-depth, because then we can scan your website and do a bunch of other crazy stuff. And then we need a person who I'm actually going to send this report to, so what's your name? That most of the time, 90% of the time, that was on the business card. Sometimes the only thing that was missing from that was the person's name. So be like, hey, by the way, who's the best, and this is what he used to do, who's the best person to send this to? He'd flip over the business card and write that person's name on the back of the card, okay? And at the end of the day, Bruce's job was to come home to Daddy and bring him the business cards. That's it. You come to Daddy and you bring Daddy the business cards, and Daddy will take over the rest, okay? Bruce used to come home with like 10 to 15 business cards every day. And his job was to go, let's go P&P for 1 second. Every day he would come here and he would sit on this little shitty computer that I had that was $300 from Walmart because I didn't want to invest any money in my business. He would come here and he would take all of the businesses and he would run the reports. And the next morning when I get into the office, all the reports were done and they were generated. And now it was my job to actually call them and make the sale and go over the report with them. Now, do you see what I did here? What did I take out? Okay, what was the one thing that I took out that I don't have to do anymore? What did I just replace here, guys? Drop it in the chat really quick. What was the thing that was replaced here? Yeah, you guys got it. I replaced my prospecting. I didn't have to prospect anymore, okay? Bruce was now my new prospector, and now I was a closer. I was the hardcore closer, okay? So then we went from closing on average 1 to 2 of these deals when I was doing it alone, because think about it, guys, I would literally have to get in my car every day, park in a plaza, walk into every single business, do the thing that Bruce was doing, get all the business cards, and I was doing that all day. So what I would have to do is I would do that Monday, I would do that, then Tuesday, I would set up all my calls and do my sales calls. Then Wednesday, I would go back out, and I would do that again. I would get a bunch of business cards, right? And then Thursday, I would do all my sales calls, and then Friday, I would go at it again. So my workload was split between prospecting and sales. Okay, well, I found my solution. My solution was, let me replace my prospecting so I can do sales 5 times a week. Now, guys, what do you think happened when Bruce started prospecting? Okay, what do you think happened? Can you drop it in the chat really quick? Take a wild guess. What do you think happened when Bruce started prospecting? Yeah, we closed more deals. Somebody said sales exploded. I had more time to think. Business blew up. What else do you guys think happened? It's called scaling. This was the first baby step. The bigger picture, which some of you guys don't see, is can you actually put up a P&P real quick? Check this out, guys. Remember what I showed you guys in a lot of my frameworks trainings? Check out this picture. Now my desk is to the left. Angie's in the middle and Bruce is on the right. Okay? Check this out, guys. You ready for this? This is going to be cool. Bruce is prospecting. I was sales and Angie was fulfillment. The three main things you need to do in your business to actually scale. This right here was the first stepping stone to my business social agency. I finally created the first step in my business that allowed me to call myself a legitimate company and start actually generating a massive amount of clients. I finally built my system. The big thing, this was the big thing for me, okay? This was my first system as a business owner. This is my first real system, okay? Now think about what was happening. Let's go front face real quick. Think about what was happening here, okay? Now we were in rotation. Bruce used to go out every day, pick up a bunch of business cards, come home, or come to the office, drop in all the reports. Next day, I had 15 reports. I would make 15 phone calls, say, hey, my name's Chad, I'm calling from social agency. Bruce was actually just in your office yesterday. He was the guy with the shirt open with the khakis. Yeah, that's Bruce, the older guy, right? Yeah, that's Bruce. He was the guy that was standing with the booklet, remember that? And I always used to say that because they always remember the guy that came in with the booklet. For some reason, they always remember that tangible item, right? Remember that guy that came in with the booklet? Yeah, that was Bruce. Because think about it, how many people walk into a business every day? How many people walk into a restaurant every day? Hundreds, thousands, depending on the restaurant, right? Especially here in South Florida. So what would happen was, Bruce would go out, he would do all that, and I started filling up my pipeline. Okay, started filling up my pipeline, kept going, filling up my pipeline, until I got to the point where I had enough business. Can we go P&P really quick? I started closing 3, 4, 5 of these deals a week, some weeks. And then I opened my own office and I said, hey, you know what? As an entrepreneur, I'm gonna grow some balls here and I'm gonna take it the next step up. I got my own office. That office that I showed you before, this office, this wasn't even my office. This was the front section to my friend's office. He had like a 4,000 square foot office. This was like a 500, maybe even 400 freaking square foot space, okay, that I used and I traded for SEO services, okay? Thinking outside of the box, I did whatever I could because I knew I couldn't have these people at my parents' house. I needed a space, but I also didn't want to take that step. I was kind of scared, right? It was a new thing for me. So then I did that, and then I had this office, right? And that's when I started hiring more fulfillment teams. This is people that do fulfillment. Now more graphic designers, okay? Website designers, SEO people. I hired more salespeople. So now I was like, dude, how can I take myself out of sales? Now I'm doing all the freaking sales, right? And also, what's gonna happen when Bruce hits every single business in a freaking 30-mile radius? He's gonna have nowhere else to go. So I started going around my location. So my whole thing was, let me get all the business locally, and then I'll start expanding. Okay, and that's what most businesses do. It's a real strategy, right? So I hired a bunch of salespeople, and as you can see, there's even like pictures, if you look closely, on everybody's desk, there's a picture of a map, and they all were working on territories, right? They were all working on different coasts, okay? We had our conference room, obviously. Here's some more employees. This was my new office, right? We had a little brick and mortar store, and then again, guys, again. Now I know we went really quickly through these slides, but I want you to understand the entrepreneurial mindset here on what I had to actually overcome to make this whole thing a reality. Okay, then we go now a year, what is this? We go from 2014 to 2016, guys, 2 whole years pass. Okay, and by the way, guys, let me go back one slide. In this office, if you look at the top row in the middle, where you see about 4 salespeople sitting, we replaced Bruce and started doing cold calling. And we took the same script that we were doing here, and we're doing it over the phone. We say, hey, my name's Chad. I got a report for you that we created. It's going to show you everything about your business. Would it be cool? Would it be cool if we actually scheduled the time to go over that report? Right? And we pushed traffic. Remember what I spoke to you guys about? I said traffic yesterday. I said traffic, right? Push traffic to your offer. So we push traffic to our offer. How do we generate the traffic? By Insta sites. Let's go front face real quick. How do we generate the traffic? Also was Insta sites. Was Insta reports, okay? This was even before Insta sites days, guys, by the way, guys. Insta sites, Insta reports. Let's go back in. All right, so this is now another office. I hired more people, okay? This was one of the first days I think we stepped into the new office. I think we threw a party. As you can see, there's a bunch of platters of food and shit around and drinks, right? And you're probably like, Chad, why the hell is there money on the floor? We had a money gun, which is actually right here. And it does stuff like this. I don't know why it's not working now, but I'm glad it didn't because I don't feel like cleaning that shit after. And then we started hiring more salespeople. This is our sales guys having a team meeting. All right. Then we started hiring project managers. Okay. Look at the evolution of an agency. Look at the evolution through my life. You guys can actually see this happening in reality. Think about this happening to yourself. Okay. Then we started hiring project managers. There's Gil when he had glasses. Okay. Gil doesn't even have glasses anymore. That's how long this is. Okay. That's how long ago this was. Gil's right there to the bottom left. Okay. Project managers. Then we hired more people to do more stuff. Okay? And then we opened our call center. Can you take me out of the bottom right real quick, Carlos, just so they can see that pic? Then we have our call center. Okay? And the call center, guys, is where the Insta sites days started happening. That's when the big shift started happening, right? That's when we started switching to the reports. And we started saying, hey, how can we do this in volume? And how can we do it with a first step in our value ladder? That's when the whole value ladder approach started coming to me, right? In 2016, I think is when ClickFunnels actually opened, and I think I was like dabbling into like the internet marketing space and trying to figure out what these big entrepreneurs are doing. And I was like, okay, well, I keep seeing value ladder. Like, what if we took our system that we had and we dropped the value ladder inside of it and we actually used that method? So we went one step back. Instead of selling these packages, okay, let's go front face real quick. Instead of selling these packages, right, we started getting them up the ladder. We started going in volumes. And that's when we started doing like 80 of these sales on average a month. We were selling our Insta sites on average, right? About 80 of these every single month. And then we had our value ladder where after we sold an Insta site, 7 days later it was in the CRM. We had our sales team, which was in that call center that I just showed you guys. We can go P&P again so you can get a quick visual, okay? Now that sales office was full. This was probably one of the pictures in the early days when we were building it out. That's Tommy actually right there with the gray pants. Tommy used to run our call center, okay? Built out our whole call center. We're family here. We've been here together for a long time together, guys, by the way, from those of you guys who don't know that. Okay, but first and foremost, before I keep going, do you guys see an evolution here of an agency? Can you drop a number 1 in the chat really quick if you are watching this story? This is like my life story, so hopefully this like sheds some light on what it is to own a real business. Because a lot of people, what they think is like overnight agency, and they're gonna be like millionaires overnight. Like, this is like real shit, guys. This is like what it actually takes to be an entrepreneur, right? And it's funny because when I did this, the title of this presentation is The Entrepreneurial Mindset. I'm actually reading it off my deck here, okay? I didn't even know what this presentation was gonna be about before I did this. I'll be honest with you guys. I told my team, I was like, I actually rather not create a final presentation. What I would actually do is, I really wanna tell a story to understand what a real entrepreneur's mind actually looks like. Okay, go P&P real quick. And not an actual online guru or magician that's gonna tell you that you can work 1 hour a week and become a multi-millionaire in the agency space. I want you guys to leave this summit understanding that if you're gonna dive into this business, which is digital marketing, that it is not going to be easy, okay? I had to work my ass off. I've been here for 11 years in this space. I've ran through hundreds of employees that were not good, that came in and out of our company. I filtered out hundreds of employees until we found the best of the best. Okay, we've went through thousands. Some of you guys have never even been through freaking like 3 clients. I'm telling you, we've been through thousands. All right, if you look at our QuickBooks file for social agency, I think we've been to over 10,000 people that bought from us. Okay, how many of you guys have a CRM system with 10,000 paying active, or not active, but paying customers, right? Any of you guys? Any of you guys? No? Not a lot of you guys, right? So when I'm saying this information, I want you guys to not, I'm not bragging, guys, and I hope you don't take this as a brag. I'm educating you to the point where I need you to make sure that your mindset is right. This whole thing here needs to be about mindset and expectations. We went through yesterday, and I showed you guys, I said the biggest reason why agencies fail is expectations. And another big reason why agencies fail, and we can go to the side camera here really quick, and this is going to be a big one for you to take in, okay? Another big reason why you might be failing, and it's okay to feel like you're failing. I failed for so many years. I had to go through 4 years of failure in order to finally come into this point where we're doing millions of dollars in sales. We have almost 50 employees, right? I had to live through that failure. But what I want you to know is it's okay, number one, to fail, okay? Because it's called trial and error, and in every business, you have to go through it. You have to go through that trial and error. You have to find what the right fit is for you, what that right groove is for you, right? But another thing that I spoke about was addiction. And I spoke about it, I had a whole Dash Elite call last week, and the moral of the call was addiction. And we said, hey, I said, put your hand up really quick. How many of you guys are addicted to this whole agency thing? Like, how many of you guys wake up every morning and it's like a drug to you and you're actually addicted to it? You wake up and you start reading articles about marketing. You start reading articles about these new softwares that are coming out. You can increase your automations. If that's you guys, can you do me a favor and drop a number 1 in the chat really quick? If that's you wake up, like before you go to sleep, you start R&Ding all of your customers. Right? You try to figure out what's actually working for them and how to make it work for your business. You go into all these Facebook groups, right? You try to figure out, well, what are these guys doing to close clients? How can I do that? How can I implement that in my agency? You try to figure out all this stuff, but for some reason, it just doesn't work. Okay? How many of you guys right now, and there's almost 200 of you guys in here, there's 200 agencies probably from all over the world. How many of you guys right now are spinning your reels and you're at the point where your agency is just whatever you do for some reason is not working? Say me in the chat really quick and be honest, okay? Just say me, okay? And it's not working. And guys, don't feel like under pressure, okay? Because that was me for 4 years of my life, probably even more than that. Okay, even now I feel like sometimes I'm failing because I'm looking at even the bigger companies. I'm like, dude, what are these guys doing that are doing $50 million a year? How do we get there? Why are we only doing a couple $1 million a year? Why do I feel like a failure? Right? And there's levels, okay? And at every point in an entrepreneur's mindset, right, in a marketer's mindset, you get to these goals and you get to this reality and it's like it starts shifting. And one really cool thing that Alex Sharfin came in here and he said, hey, like he started talking about the evolution of businesses and the revenue that you make. And as you start going more and more, you start making more revenue, you go from, I forgot what the names were, but you go from a leader and then you go all the way up to like an entrepreneur. And it was like making over, I think it was like $1 billion a year, something crazy like that, right? And it's the truth. It's like I've been through levels where I've made nothing, okay? Absolutely nothing. First year in business, I think I closed like $2,000. I did a couple business cards. Second year, like I was ashamed to even put it on the freaking slides today. I did a presentation in the morning and I was ashamed to put it on the slides. Okay? I was ashamed. I didn't put the first 5 years of my business on the slides. I think I put from like 2015 when we did $588,000 in sales. Okay? Now let's go back really quick. What was that year? That was right around here. Right around this office stage. This is when I did $588,000 in sales. Can we go big real quick, Carlos? 588K. Okay, this is what it looks like, a big team. Okay, there's probably, I don't know, maybe like we're like 10 people at the time, something like that, right? And then when we go here, that's when we were over millions, right? Started doing a couple $1 million, right? So let's go back front face. So the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because you came in here today and you listened to presentation after presentation. You've been through this for 2 days. You have probably taken so many courses. You've listened to so many gurus. You're most likely going to leave here watching more YouTube videos. You're probably going to get pounded with emails because you're on all of these email lists for all these gurus trying to sell you stuff, okay? What I want you guys to do is focus, okay? This agency thing, the whole thing that we're talking about here is strategy. It's like a chess game, guys, okay? And you just gotta make the right moves. You gotta move the pawn, or whatever it's called, because I don't play chess, but I don't give a shit, whatever it's called. You gotta move the pawn into the right location, okay? How many of you guys agree that focus, and somebody had it here, right? Focus and strategy and hustle. Can I share with you guys a little secret? I'm gonna share a little secret with you guys. Something crazy and it'll probably wow you. Softwares is not the biggest thing in your company, okay? Your offer is not the biggest thing in your company, okay? Systems are not the biggest thing in your company, and those are big. It's not the biggest thing. The biggest thing in your company is hustle. Because if you give me 2 people, if you give me one that's a hustler that knows absolutely nothing, and then you put the guy to the right who knows a lot but has 0 hustle, the hustler will always win no matter what. And the hustler will always go way past that person who's sitting on their ass expecting that everything's just gonna come to them. The hustler is always going to scale way faster in life than the person who thinks that they know everything, okay, but yet takes no action. So now my question to you guys is, what are you? Are you a hustler? Or are you just gonna be that person that's gonna sit back and wait years to go by like I did at the beginning of my life for the first 4 years, trying to figure it all out, okay? Well, who are you? Are you a hustler? Say it in the chat. If you're a hustler, say hustle in the chat. Say hustle in the chat if that's who you are. We don't have any hustlers in here? Or is Zoom delayed? Okay, we got a couple hustlers in here. Oh, now all of a sudden everybody wants to be a hustler now, right? I need you guys to really focus because you're gonna come out of this summit, and I go to tons of events every year. I speak at a lot of events every single year in front of hundreds of people, okay? And what I need you guys to focus on is when you leave here, a lot of you guys may have taken a bunch. How many guys take notes? Drop a 1 in the chat. Who took notes during the summit? Drop a number 1. Okay, cool. Who took screenshots? Drop a number 2. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you a real question. Drop a number 3 and is if you're most likely going to forget 90% of what you learned. Drop a number 3 in the chat. Be totally honest. Somebody said, can I get the replays? Forget about the replays. I'm just talking about in general. Because like I said, you go to tons of events every single year, and our brain actually, statistically, is known to only store the information that we remember, that we choose to remember. I personally have selective memory. And I tell my wife, right? My wife's like, you forgot to take out the garbage. I was like, well, my mind doesn't want me to remember to take out the garbage because it's not something that I want to do, right? That's why you have to keep reminding me every Tuesday and Friday to take out the freaking garbage, right? Because my mind doesn't want to do that. I don't want to take out the freaking garbage. But I can tell you one thing, I'll remember to call that deal that I need to close. I remember that shit. I got that shit on a fucking alarm clock. I got that shit on my calendar, right? You guys see what I'm saying? We all have selective hearing. We all have selective memory. We want to only remember the things that we want to do. So I hope that whatever you guys took from the end of this summit, that you absorbed all the most valuable information out of it. Every single piece of information, I hope you absorbed out of it. And what I do want to do here is, because we're getting to the end of the summit and we're going to do our VIP sessions. Now, some of you guys were on here yesterday. And I'm going to go all the way to the end. I'm not doing any pitches or anything here, okay? Because this was not planned at all. but I made you guys an offer yesterday, okay? And that offer, can we go P&P really quick? That offer was to work with me directly, okay, for 6 whole months, okay? And I was gonna give you all of this stuff. Now forget about the shit that's on here, okay? That doesn't mean anything. Forget about the softwares and forget about all of that stuff. The point of what you're buying into here is not software. It's not an agency mind map. It's not a call center secrets training. Okay, what you're buying into here, and if you can drop me here, right here in the front really quick, Carlos, is you're buying into me. Okay, you're buying into me. You're buying into 11 years of experience of living this entire journey and figuring it all out for myself. Unfortunately, I was the hardhead. And I didn't invest in any education, and that's why it took me 11 fucking years to get where I am now, where I see all of the other companies literally running me over, okay? Back in the day, maybe not right now. Now we're doing very well. But it took me so long because instead of me working with somebody who already knew how to do it, I was sitting there watching YouTube videos and trying to decipher how to do this whole thing on my own. And what I realized was that guy, the hustler, that didn't really care. Like, I only turned, just want to make something very clear to you guys. I only turned into a hustler probably after 5 or 6 years of being in business, okay? You guys like, Chad, you were closing like 1 or 2, you were closing like 1 or 2 of these every single week. That's hustling. I'm not talking about that type of hustle. I'm talking about the hustle where you're making over $1 million a year. Okay, I'm talking about hustling where now we're doing multiple millions of dollars a year in both of our companies. Okay, and the reason why we're able to do that is because we have that 11 years of experience. How many of you guys have watched a YouTube video or a course or a training on something, okay, and then had to go back and rewatch it like 5 times to understand what the hell it is that you just heard? Okay? How many of you guys are like that? Because I'm like that. I have to rewatch something like 10 times for me to understand it. And I'm an analytical thinker, right? That's just how I am, right? So take all of that time and go full screen here. Guys, if you guys want to work with me directly, okay, just go to DashClicksCoaching.com. Okay, and I really want you to take advantage of, forget about all the checkboxes and the value and all the value stack and all that shit. Forget about the $5 grand that's on there too. What I want you guys to focus on is me and working with me directly for 6 months. Okay, guys? For 6 months and being able to actually grow your business without the turbulence and time suck that I had to go through for 11 full years. Okay? I'm talking about 11 years of trying to hustle mixed with hustling. Okay? My whole thing, the thing that feeds me the most, and some of you guys might have seen, are friends with me on Facebook, a lot of you guys now, but some of you, I threw up a post yesterday. I was actually overwhelmed, I'll be honest with you guys. Yesterday when we ended day 1 of the summit, I had like 20 or 30 people message me and say, Chad, I want you to know what you're doing is life-changing. I had one of our Dash Elite members message me and say, Chad, I just wanted to throw this out there, and he DM'd me and he said, I just want to throw this out there. You're changing a lot of lives, but you just don't know it yet, okay? You just don't have the credit yet. People don't, and the crappy part about life, guys, is people think about it as like the review system. How do reviews work? People don't want to go and leave good reviews. They only want to leave reviews when something shitty happens so they can get vengeance on the person, right? But they won't give that person credit when they actually go out and help you, right? So that actually opened my eyes to the point where, like, I think I can actually move the needle for a lot of you guys. And I think I can actually help you, okay? So let me ask you guys a quick question. For those of you guys, I asked a question before. I said, who here right now is spinning their wheels and trying to figure all this shit out? Let me ask you another question one more time. Do you think working with me directly, okay, and my resources, so you get my team, my white label fulfillment team, you get my sales guys, right? You work with me, you get my network, okay, which is all the speakers you had on here today, because all of those guys are going to be doing trainings and stuff in Dash Elite as well, moving forward. How many of you guys think that I can really help you? Forget about the money. Do you think that I can actually help you move the needle in your business? Just say yes in the chat. I really want to know. There's almost 200 of you guys on here, right? How many guys really think that I can actually help you? If this didn't cost anything, if this whole thing was free and I said, hey, just go to this page and put in your name and email address, how many of you guys would literally jump off of this right now, jump out of your seats, and go put your name and email address to work with me? Can you drop a yes in the chat? A lot of you guys would, right? The one thing that holds people back in life is investing, right? And what I realized, and I showed you guys my whole literally life journey, is when you start investing, and I invest in people, I invest in my team, I invest in softwares, I invest in nice things that I like, which keeps me motivated. When you start investing in your life, what happens is your life actually changes and starts actually moving forward a lot faster, okay? So for those of you guys who literally want to jump into this program and work with me for 6 months, think about what we're offering here. Think about the offer, okay? And I got a couple minutes left, but think about what we're offering. First and foremost, open up a new tab and go to DashClicksCoaching.com. Okay, all we're asking you to do is put in a refundable $397 deposit to speak to our team. Okay, for some reason you cannot make the investment, to see if it's a good fit for you. And if not, we'll refund your money back. We give it back to you in the form of a DashClicks credit so you can use us. Okay, because we know damn sure that we can help you. At least our tools, our softwares, our white label fulfillment, our agency, website, like anything you use from us will definitely benefit you. Okay, so if you were in here and you said yes, that you think I can help you, then what is actually stopping you from moving forward and taking the leap of faith? Because I can tell you one thing, and I'm just going to exit out of this really quick. It didn't stop these people here, okay? Didn't stop any of these guys, right? Didn't stop these guys, okay? It didn't stop Gavin, TJ, or Danny, okay? And Gavin closed $151K in the last 2 months. TJ, $11,000 in the last 2 weeks. Danny, $252,000 in the last 3 months, right? So I want to ask you a really quick question, and I need you guys to be honest with me so we can, as my goal is to get as many people into this program as possible so I can physically help you, because what moves me is when I get those messages that like, dude, you're changing my life, or hey, in the last 3 months of joining Dash Elite, I closed $250,000, like it blows my mind. I didn't even know that. Okay, we have a Money in the Bank group where in Slack, we have a Money in the Bank channel where every user will actually go on and screenshot their winnings, like their Stripe payments, and they'll throw it in and be like, oh, I just won, 6-month contract, right? That just won. And then like, I didn't add up the totals. I never added up the totals because there's so many of them, right? There's 50, by the way, you guys, some of you guys like, how many people are in Dash Elite? There's about 50 people in Dash Elite. We've been running Dash Elite, I'll say for about 8 months now, okay? And we're already creating 6-figure and on their way to 7-figure earners in literally under 8 months, okay, with our program. So my question to you is, and this is where I need your help and I need you to be honest with me, okay? I spent 2 days with you here on the summit. This is where I need your help. This is where you can give back to me, okay? What is that one reason that is holding you back from joining Dash Elite? Okay, can you drop it in the chat? And if you want, drop it into the panelist chat. If for some reason you're scared to say it, you can select panelist, okay? You can select panelist. Aaron said, I'm a part of this program as well. And I can say that certainly this is the real deal. Chat and Angel are amazing. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. A part of this program. I don't have that kind of money right now and can't get credit. Chatty, my recommendations to you, brother, is we have options, right? So don't worry about the investment. If you're a good fit for the program, we'll figure out how to make it happen, right? That's all I can tell you. What was that, Carlos? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Can you guys help me out? And sorry, looks like I'm reading some panelist messages, but my bad. What else, guys? What is the main reason that's stopping you and holding you back from jumping in? Highly recommended. Here's Danny Flores, his freaking self. The man is up here on the damn TV, closed 250K in the last 3 months. Right there, highly recommended, bare minimum, book a call, okay? If anybody, guys, and I don't want the investment to stop you, okay? If anybody, for some reason, does not have the $397, okay, what I want you to do is call us. Do you still have the banner for that call? Here's what I want you to do, okay? We're going to throw a banner up really quick. For some reason, if you do not have the $397 to join, what I want you to do is book a call right here, okay? And our team is personally going to work with you if you're a hustler. And if this is a good fit for you, our team will personally work with you to try to move whatever needles we can on our end to get you into the program. Okay, so use that link. You'll get a 30-minute call. And at the end of the call, you can ask the reps about Dash Elite and tell them about your situation. Okay, and find out what you need to do to actually jump into the program. And who knows? Maybe our CFO Tommy will make some other offers for you to see if it can work for you. I don't know. We'll see what we can do. Okay? So guys, my question to you, or my last final statement here, we got 2 minutes left of this summit. This summit has been insane. It's been probably the 2 craziest days of my life. Most hectic too, because damn you Zoom for making life hard on everyone. Is for those of you guys who booked a call, even if you can't afford it, we'll try to do what we can to get you in. For those of you guys who dropped in your deposit, okay? For those of you guys who did the one pay, a couple of you guys did the one pays yesterday, a bunch of you guys put deposits in. We have 50 people right now in Dash Elite, and we have another 50 people that we're gonna let in to Dash Elite, which means my goal is to get 100 people and change their freaking life. And then after the 100 people get in, that we reach that 100 person mark, we're gonna close the doors down. And I'm going to make sure that all 100 people are at least hitting a minimum of 6 figures in their agency. And then we're going to reopen the doors and let new people in. And that can be probably in a couple of weeks, couple of months, most likely a couple of months. Okay? So Carlos dropped a link down in there if you guys want to schedule your call. Aside from that, guys, once again, if it's a good fit for you, you can just go literally to DashClicksCoaching.com right there. And I just want to say that thank you guys for joining me on this 2-day virtual summit. Cheers to you guys. I look forward to your success as an agency. I look forward to seeing you in DashClicks. And I also look forward to seeing you in Dash Elite. Stay well, guys. Have a good one and best of luck.